as the
Yeah.
it's a NeuroCreative Leadership Live pop-up summit.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's all go now on link all those channels.
Amazing.
And the idea, the premise is that it's pop-up and it's almost a bit like a market research experiment to find out what neurocreative leadership is. Because I've got pillars that I've put together from healthcare, wealth care, stealth care, all these different elements to what I call holistic fitness. And as neurocreative leaders in the world that are more heart-centered, neurodiverse thinkers potentially, or just seeing themselves as carers, that caring people that want to get their projects out there and they've got chaotic minds, scattered brilliance, find our natural rhythms and get into sustainable brilliance without the fear of burnout. And that's the aim of this summit, is to bring an awesome deliberately hand-picked speakers that are dedicated to their work. They're passionate, purposeful, and they care so much that and they put so much skill every single day into what they do. It's sort of, it blows my mind, and I'm dedicated to sharing this knowledge with everyone else that comes about, and seeing what we can create with a mastermind approach to business, heart-centered business and creative projects that actually have a visionary purpose in the world, that has people want to take action for better world in
Yeah.
general. So thanks for being here, Rachel. And without further ado, I'd love to ask you some questions and see what comes up for you. We're also giving it as a way to explore and show that we as leaders listen to our bodies before we speak,
Yeah.
and have real there's real gold in by slowing down rather than trying to speed up or over explain things, which is fine in some areas where there's permission, and then as others we can show that we can slow down and really connect to what we want to share before we do, and that's
Yeah.
good too. That's good too. Um,
Amazing.
so I'm wondering, Michelle,
Yeah.
what's your favorite topic in life and work that seems to be this glue that you keep coming back to, that has shaped who you are so that you can be who you are and do what you do?
Yeah. Great question. And thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege. So, straight away, what came to my mind was manifestation, right? And then, second of all, I was like, oh, yeah. And that goes hand in hand with mindset and wellness. And I've played around with so many titles and so many different, I help statements. And when you asked me that question, yeah, it was straight up, Rory, manifestation. And it's kind of like an umbrella to me. And that's where, like if we brainstorm, we have the spider diagrams, that's there's rocks that come with that, let's say. But yeah, manifestation is the glue. And I really like that you call it the glue, that everything sticks together.
Excellent. Amazing. And within that topic of manifestation,
Yeah.
what does that what does that mean to you about what you do and why?
Yeah. Well, it fills me with so much joy, even just thinking of all of the stories for myself and then others as well have manifested. And really, it's about turning your dreams or transforming your dreams into reality. It's the fact of believing in yourself and knowing that you can have these dreams and desires and you can dream big, bold, beautiful. And these dreams are a lot easier to achieve than we think. And so I've been on a mission myself for years to practice what I preach and to have these daily practices of manifestation in particular to attract and to build my vibration, to keep my vibration high. And so, really, that is the message that anything is possible 100% of the time. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I also truly believe that everything on the outside is a direct reflection of what's happening on the inside. So of course, my business is rewire coaching, and people get very curious of that. And yeah, it's about rewiring your brain, rewiring your patterns and your behaviors, and you change your life. And it's also about rewiring your nervous system and your neural pathways. And so, as of late, Rory, I haven't even told you this, it just came to me of regulate before you rewire. As a, as a nutshell, that's what I teach, and that's what I've been practicing.
Hooray!
Yes,
Hooray,
indeed.
hooray for that. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's such a fascinating topic. Uh, and when I first started to realize about manifestation, it was very technical. It was very, even though very, I was still studying holistic approaches, but studying osteopathy and how the habits that we have, the thoughts, the feelings, or the belief systems, and how um challenges in the body, the diseases, or what the illnesses, or whatever these symptoms or diagnoses that came about were manifested in how they were manifested in the body. And I was fascinated with that idea of that's where I knew about manifestation was like the evidence of doing or not doing things related to not just having people have or the people having injuries as such that are out of control, but the ones that potentially are in being in control because of beliefs, because of systemic choices. And so thanks for sharing. It's exciting to get into it. And with that, in terms of the health and the self-care, there's a question around um the way you see yourself wired. I like the word unique wiring as well. And so when you see yourself in at the current state of life and situations and the way that you are uniquely wired at this time, what's your favorite self-care technique that comes to mind that again that is just a really easy to go to technique?
Yeah, well, very simply, and that's what I really like to do is bring everything back to the basics. Straight away, it's breathing. It's automatic. We can take it for granted, and we may not even realize it's automatic because, of course, it just happens. But each breath is different. And when we're conscious and intentional with our breath, it really can bring us back to what I call neutral. And from this place, we respond rather than react. So breathing straight away, and also shifting our physiology to then shift our state. So wherever I am, I will stand up, I will move to a new environment, and I will breathe, and I'll say positive self-talk, and I'll only focus on the positive and empowering thoughts. And even doing that for 20 seconds, my brain chemistry and my body and the nervous system and the manifestation within our body is already working. And then it's working with the universe, with the law of attraction, law of vibration. They're all just as real as the law of gravity. And so I use the law of gravity with grounding myself because we're literally grounded on the earth. And I tell myself I am safe because a lot of I'll say things, circumstances, situations in life, especially in today's busy society, we can we can really feel uh, stirred and shaken. Yeah, like this. And we might not know what to do with that state. Because I really like that you said state. And it can all come down to identity as well. And we'll probably get into that. But yes, sticking to that question, Rory, everything gets to be simple, not complicated. Us humans are very good at stacking so much and piling so much on our little plate that there's a 2-minute rule. if it takes 2 minutes, do it right away. And also, especially when you mentioned habits, so even this regrounding habit, let's say, or a ritual, some people like to call it a ritual, 2 minute rule, 2 minutes maximum. Even if you've been to the gym 3 times a week for years, great. 2 minutes of movement. You know, especially if it's a new habit, or if you're adding more days on, say you're doing 3 days and now you're like, oh, I'm going to do 6, go from 3 to 4. So yeah, that's that's really what comes to me when I tap into my intuition of breathing.
Amazing. Breathing, changing environment, getting moving,
Yeah.
simplicity, and positive thoughts. Well, that's amazing. Because I can see why if that becomes a regular thing, it can really keep that sense of regularity going that is simple and effective. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And there there's as you are well aware, there's five innate powers that we have when we are um we're unable to judge ourselves or others when we're in a space of these one of these powers, even for a short amount of time, like 30 seconds. There can't be anything other than um, what can help us shift our perspective in some way, shape, or form. And they have a lead on effect of staying positive without necessarily it being a negative toxicity, positivity of avoiding things as such. Um, but this sense of I'm going to say them
Yes.
and one at a time and see which one lands for you that is the most powerful, not just of what you would want to go to regularly, but the one that actually is helping you grow at this time that you know that you need to be working on, and potentially why as well. So, um, here we go. So, empathy, curiosity, creativity, navigation, and activation.
Oh, okay. So for me personally, it was actually quite a hard choice. And even if you asked me 4 days ago, probably would have said empathy, having that vulnerability, being vulnerable. And I love the sentence of when I am being blank, I create blank. So when I'm being vulnerable, I create beautiful, open-hearted relationships. And so that love and compassion for myself, therefore for others, would have been key. Curiosity was my power word for 2024. And right now, in the present, I would actually say activation. Because with that comes navigation and creativity, which is so great for joy, so great for connecting to our inner child, and also activating our energy, our attitude, our identity, our states. When I always move and change state, change physiology, and that's why I love the tool NLP tool anchoring, to anchor in a certain state, confident, bold, courageous, totally playful, anything like that. And so the energy that comes around that activation is very, very important, especially for manifestation. because when we're vibing higher, others also join us, and we come from a higher place. We're coming into our pleasures and our desires rather than our pain points. So we're being pulled by love, not pushed by fear. And that's how we regulate to rewire, because we're coming from this place that's that's neutral, that's optimistic, that's open to receive. And this is the fun part about manifestation is when you trust the process, oh, what the heck, no matter what, oh, what the heck, I'm doing it kind of thing, you let go of the how. We're human beings, we're not human doings. The doing is the easy part, the mechanics. It's the ways of being, and that really for me is purely in the activation. You are mastering, you are choosing not to dabble, you're committed, you're dedicated, you're hungry. You want this goal, you want this dream and desire. And that is where you are much, much more likely to achieve your goals, your dreams, your desires, and manifest them so quick. Rory, I had a client the other week. We had a massive breakthrough on a coaching call. And before we'd even finished our call, she had manifested her dream client. It was magnetic, and that's where that energy and the magneticness, that's my word for today, comes because you are attracting, you're not repelling, you're expanding, not contracting. So that integration of giving and receiving and being open is actually being embodied and embraced. It's not, oh yeah, you know, it's real, it's tangible, it's happening in front of your very eyes. And that is what gets me out of bed. And that's what gets me so happy and passionate because it's so easy when we let it be.
Wow. How magnificent. That's all
I,
I that's all that's all I can say. What you just shared there, what you shared there was like magnificent. Um, yeah, I don't know how to even bring like all everything, every part of what you just said there, shared and shed, and that's the point. Yeah, shedding. And what I'm getting from that is the sense of we can hear I should trust myself or should trust the process or I'm supposed to or how do I do that if I'm feeling upset? And that's the thing. It's not necessarily easy to see. And what I learned around that process as well was what are we trusting in instead when it's not when we're trying to trust something and we don't feel like we're trusting, which we're trusting in a feeling of something else. So it's really fascinating what you just shared and how what you're sharing about that activate is so important to come back round to sort of almost it's
yeah,
the letting go, the shedding of ideas that could go a certain way
yeah,
um, but being clear on what it is to put out there in the first place. And that's where I think
yeah,
helping that's what I love about again us as neurocreative leaders is there to help someone to sit down and choose what that vision looks like first before anything.
yes. And a compelling vision. I love that you said clear because it's that clarity. You've taken away the mist and the fog, and you're so crystal clear. The vision is 360 panoramic. It's bright. It's right in front of you. It's, in arm's reach. And that's what's so important of clarity and direction. Like, what direction are you currently going, and what direction are you wanting to go? And remembering, yeah, yeah, go for it.
and it's actually leading into the next question. So
Oh,
I want it to,
I'm
yeah. So
ready.
notice what you're sharing there about direction, because
Yes.
there's this idea of creativity and leadership.
Yes.
What I'm sort of suggesting with neurocreative leadership is to own our nervous systems and bring the sense of creativity, which is this open-ended, playful, messy stuff that we listen out for and go into what's going to be next, what am I looking for, all that kind of stuff. And then what the structure is on the leadership is the structure, the assertiveness, the decision, and then taking the
Mm,
action to do it. So this sort of a feminine side of things and then a masculine side of things, and how when they bring together, that's this concept. So
yeah.
creativity and leadership. So as you're sharing what you were just sharing,
Yeah.
I, I just wanted to say how does that all land for you, and what does that mean for you in your work and life?
Mm. Well, leadership is everything, where leadership is such a great word in general and holds a lot of meaning. And we care about what we give meaning to. If people believe in crystals, it's because we've given it a meaning. And so with leadership, that was a huge shift in my world, in all areas of my life, and the creativity side as well, because how we lead, people often say, oh, I want to lead by example. Great. And what is leadership? What kind of leader and role model or idol some people have do we want? And be more like that. So I started very simply of realizing, who do I love who is an amazing leader? And this was years and years ago, really, when I was starting to get into personal development. And what are their characteristics? What are their traits? What are their ways of being? They're confident, they're they have integrity. And in fact, when we were doing other summits, Rory, I ended up interviewing the third named CEO of the world, Bob Chapman, all about people-centered and heart-centered leadership. And two words always come to me: humble and generosity. And generosity is my 2026 power word this year. And coming from that place of giving and serving, things have shifted massively because I'm focusing on my pleasures and my desires. And I prefer the word leadership to managing, or yeah, what are you managing? Control. And it's actually something I heard today, Rory, was power trip. Oh, they just want the power trip. They boss me around. Well, we've all had leaders that we weren't that fond of, let's be honest. And so I knew when I was stepping into a CEO role, a founder role, I knew how I wanted to be. Now, of course, there's struggles to be that leader to the highest standard. So it's learning how to have, 50%, what's the word I'm wanting? Like not setting your standards so high and having these unrealistic expectations. It's more about being open and honest about being a work in progress yourself and failing. I strive to fail every day. Fail, first attempt in learning. So it wasn't about being perfect. And you've really supported me with sitting my perfectionist on the sideline and observing. Thank you. I'm grateful for you. I've got this, right? And so coming right back to the beginning of what you said of like habits, beliefs, thoughts, emotions, they're all those patterns and the attitude that come down to that question, to have creativity and expression while leading from a place that is true, not having a work hat and a friend hat and a family hat and a hobbies hat. It's literally about integrating all of them so you are being you. Yes, you are you 100% of the time, authentic, all the ways of being. And from that place, the radiation, the magnetism, and the thing is, Rory, I mean, we vibe very high. A scale of 1 to 10, I would say we're usually a solid 8. You'll find us at this 8, quite high vibration, a lot of the time. And the key thing with leadership in particular and creativity was learning how to not take things personally, to protect my boundaries and my own energy. And let's say someone came into my energy, because I am very empathetic and very, I feel people's energy a lot. I could feel energy in anyone really 2, 3 meters away. So let's say they're vibrating at a 5, quite low. The likelihood back in the day when I didn't know about activation and all this energy work was I would pretty much instantly drop to a 5, maybe a 4. Whereas now my vibration stays at an 8, and I bring them from a 5 to a 6 to a 7. Maybe they don't get to an 8. They're not at a 5 anymore. And I'm not drained. If anything, I'm fuller and I'm overflowing. And that's the key. This self-care and the visioning, vision boarding, tangibility. There's so many tools. Top tools, tips, and techniques is what I say. I've got a huge bag of them, and I just share them and give people what it is they want and need in the moment to then move forward.
Wow. Thank you, Michelle. Um, yeah, and I I certainly am very, very grateful for you introducing me to the idea of leadership as well, and as well when we were going through the coaching trainings, and I didn't know about it from a perspective of that it was necessary at all to consider learning, and so we've helped each other so much along the way, and it's been an amazing journey. So I'm very
So
grateful for that.
amazing.
There's a couple of things left to look at here.
Yep.
Um, the as you look at your unique value proposition, it be a technical term or not, for you, their sense of what you bring to the world and your gifts with your strengths and your skills and the way you process, like you just shared as well, with the way you process information and energy and how you get best results in life and work. What is it that you'd say that is? Um,
Mhm.
yes, that's yeah.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful way of framing it. And straight away, it's this solid, beautiful internal foundation. And I mean, strip everything back. Like, take off any armor, knock down any barriers and walls, take off the mask. And I've got goosebumps saying that, because it's being certain ways. It's really tapping into to you. And
I'm asking you as well. So
yeah,
what's your gift?
personally,
Yeah, yeah.
teaching an internal foundation. With that, visioning, especially vision boards, and NLP, neuro linguistic programming. It's rewiring your brain. It's rewiring your habits, your patterns, your thoughts, your beliefs that you thought yesterday, that you're thinking today, and you're thinking tomorrow. So please do feel free to dig any deeper here, Rory, to navigate.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. That's yeah, a nutshell is good. So that's what you bring. You help to teach those to internally navigate with their internal language so that they can
Mm.
um I you said it. It's gone, but you said it. Internal the language and the vision boards. That's it. Yeah. So, but yeah, how that has best results in your life and work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Really, it's, I get asked a lot, well, what is it you do? And there's so many ways I can say it. And as of late, I've really got it down to what most people come to me for or ask me. I'm always listening to feedback. I think feedback is such a great thing when you're open to it. Not critical, just really honest feedback. And I love that we're able to do that and we hold uh, one another accountable so beautifully. And what it is, Rory, is self-doubt. Speaking of the nutshell, self-doubt into bold action and clarity. So, this clarity with bold action. So, a formula that I'm sure I've shared with you before is A plus M equals R. Action plus mindset equals results. So, if you want the best quality results and at a faster pace, you take bold action, just 20 seconds of bold action. Why not? Go for it of being this higher version with the mindset and the movement piece for the results. And it really is that simple. Do more of what you love.
Excellent, excellent. And it's really ideally just completely coming back round to what I would, but what I'm saying is reminding people at this point in the interviews is call to action. It's not just a marketing term, it's also this sense of when we feel called to take an action from someone, what someone has said, or what is we're called to take called to take call to give a call to action as well as leaders. So that it works both ways when we feel like it's important to make a call to action to others or the other way around. And it's quite simple in so many ways where it's either a no, I'm not into that at all because it just doesn't resonate. Or it's a I am cool, but there's resistance. And what is that resistance? Is it fear of growth to take the action, or is it a fear of that it's actually unresourceful to do that right now, and that's okay too. So it's noticing what that resistance is, because otherwise, a call to action is not is really a calling. It's a really calling. So if there's anyone watching and they've heard anything in this interview that they've loved, please, you know, give us a comment or a highlight of what you've shared or a question or anything in the chat because it when we hear a calling and we take an action, it really will ripple effect out to the to someone else will see this and then they may, all of these important topics that we cover is up to us to recognize that in ourselves, even if we want to grow. So, sharing that sense of, like you say, bold action. What call to action do you have, Michelle, at this time?
For a gift for everybody, especially with what we're speaking about today, it's a very simple yet powerful guide. It's called Release to Rise. And I love that. Release, let it go. And with that, Rory, it's the perspective of whatever emotions I'm feeling are coming up to be released. So you're giving yourself permission of that release, that freedom. So the Release to Rise guide, it teaches you 3-minute reset rituals to reignite your power and purpose. They're quick science and soul rituals to release emotional weight, reconnect to your vision, and feel aligned fast.
Nice.
Woo!
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Amazing, amazing. Wow. Um, That's what we've got time for today. We've actually delved into so much information there, and it's this is more like a taster session. I want to ask one more question, and I'm going to come up with a summary as well. Then what's what have you got from this the most? If you just scan what we've talked about, what's the most prominent thing that's coming up for you or topic, Michelle?
It's actually my tagline of live your vision. Yeah. And I grounded myself as I always do before this call, and I thought, do you know what? I'm really going to tap extra into my intuition, which is your life's manual, and see, because obviously I didn't know the questions, and see what comes up. And yeah, it's live your vision. No waiting, no, I'll be happy when. It's about living it, really living it, embodying it, and just enjoying life for freedom, impact, and fulfillment.
Amazing, amazing. That's awesome. Live your vision. And what I'm listening in for, what I get from this whole thing that we've talked about, it's that it's that health first, being kind first. I think that thing of remembering to remember to do
Yeah.
something healthy first within that. So I think that off the back of this one, we will do a longer session in the one in May when we redo it and repurpose it and get all the feedback from the speakers and the audience and everyone what to do next and how to reshape this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting is living the vision in health first. That's what I'm getting from what we can do. What do you say to that?
I I love it, Rory, and I really like that perspective because I always say put you first, fill your glass, and when it's overflowing, that's what you get to give to everyone else. And especially people who've got more feminine energy may struggle up until now to do that. And so, absolutely, 100%.
Awesome. Excellent. Thanks for watching. It's been the Pop-Up Summit 2026 NeuroCreative Leadership Live, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to have such clarity on this call. And thanks, Michelle, for being here. And yeah, there's the all the amazing speakers have all got different angles. They've answered things in different ways. They've got their own ways of doing things, and it's really fascinating to watch. So check out the if you give us a wave or ask me, I'll be sharing the sign up link for the whole summit. That's going to be all of these lives collected onto one dashboard. We're launching on Monday with a celebratory panel event on Monday the 9th in UK time. That's 8 till 9:30 p.m. So we're going to do a fun celebratory roundup with all the speakers that can make it along. And it's going to be fun because I'm going to make up some ways to group facilitate some silliness as well as some creativity as well as some leadership going on. And yeah, if you can make it, Michelle, that would be awesome. And yeah, we'll be there, and then there'll be spotlighting all of the different um, interviews so that we can remember to do cool things and get excited by all of this so that we move forward in 2026 beyond the resolution to the revolution of what this was all about. So thanks so much and all the best. Take care.
Thank you.